Friday practice ahead. The Spanish Grand Prix began with Williams testing some much needed downforce upgrades in hope that they can compete with Red Bull more often on all tracks around the calendar. Mercedes also brought some much needed power unit upgrades and reliability improvements after an abysmal start to the season, with Alonso only on 23 points and Valtteri Bottas only on 8 points. McLaren also bought some downforce upgrades, however there's nothing from Honda, so they'll still be lacking in a straight line and will be much more reliant on their aero upgrades. Taking a look at the qualifying grid for the Spanish Grand Prix, Fernando Alonso will take a shock pole position, or a very welcome pole position, just in front of Daniel Kvyat to land up in second. Jean-Éric Vergne will start third, with Josh Taylor in fourth, over 4 tenths behind the Frenchman. Once again, Rio Haryanto will line up in fifth for McLaren, with Lewis Hamilton starting in sixth as the lead Ferrari. Sebastian Buemi will start 7th on the grid, just out qualifying Sebastian Vettel, who will start from 8th. Valtteri Bottas will line up in 9th in the second Mercedes, with Stoffel Van Dorn rounding off the top 10 for McLaren. Carlos Sainz would just miss out on a place in Q3, landing up in 11th, just ahead, with Romain Grosjean who'll start from 12th. Now Verstappen will start from 13th in the other Toro Rosso, with Alex Rossi starting from 14th in the other Haas. Hülkenberg will be the lead of the Renaults in 15th, with Esteban Ocon in 16th as the lead Force India. Daniel Ricciardo will start from 17th, with Perez in 18th in the other Force India. Adrian Sutter will get the better of the Manors to line up in 19th, with Will Stevens in 20th for Manor, Pascal Wehrlein in 21st in the other Manor, and Mark Ericsson will complete the grid. Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to UniONE, this time round 5 for season 3. If you did miss the last race at Russia, go and check that out. Some of the most epic battling for the win of that race, I would say. Now looking at this race, can Fernando Alonso do anything to stop the Red Bulls? Of course, taking pole position, is in prime position to try and control the race, try to take victory in front of the home crowd. Of course, it'll be his first victory since 2014 if he could take it. And what about Rio Haryanto? The McLaren brings some much needed downforce upgrades, but still nothing from Honda, so they'll still be lacking in a straight line. Then much like Red Bull, trying to make it up through the corners and use the aerodynamics of the car to their advantage. Now cutting onto us now, starting from P4, pretty much where you would expect us to be with the upgrades, but still you can see we're still way behind both of the Red Bulls and Fernando Alonso as well. But we beat Bottas, so that's some of the work done. But starting from P4, we're going to try and keep with the Red Bulls here if we're to get anything above 4th place in this race. Try and keep ahead there of Rio Haryanto, and McLaren did a great job in qualifying. But now we come to the 5 red lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. For the Spanish Grand Prix, should get a pretty good start there alongside Jean-Éric Vergne. Looks like Alonso's not got the best start. No good. Daniel Kvyat going side by side. There's no good. Jean-Éric Vergne making 3 wide now, going down into turn 1. He's going to come out, but Alonso's trying to hold it around the outside now. Kvyat gets forced onto the curbing. Now the 2 Red Bulls going to hold it side by side. Now he's going to come out in the lead of this. Now keep side by side. You've got Vergne looking around the outside now. Daniel Kvyat trying to hold it now right around the outside, is he? Keeping it side by side, and that's like Kvyat going to the lead now of the Grand Prix. Now Alonso gone from 1st to 3rd off the start of the Grand Prix. Now Hamilton's trying right from us now. Good. Lewis Hamilton looking at our inside now, coming down into turn 3. Hamilton trying to hold it right around our outside now. Keep it side by side with the brake, just sweet back in front there of the Ferrari. Now back up into P4, but Alonso with a nightmare start there, down to P3 from the start of the grid. So the Red Bull still look to have the downforce upgrade, the traction off of the start. Well, Mercedes do have a lot more engine power, so now Alonso will be looking to power past down the straights. I'd imagine if you can keep close to the Red Bulls before the straights come up. So it's up to P4 now with Alonso. You see this there? Alonso already pulling a gap to us, so the downforce still isn't great on this Williams, but it's much more improved than what we had. They're cutting a bit further on, and Alonso now looking to gain in the solution now of the Red Bulls now coming down into turn 1. Alonso looking to gain right in the solution now of Jean-Éric Vergne, but is he gaining enough to try and make a move into turn 1? I don't think he's gaining enough now. Alonso has to stay behind for the time being, and we have to defend now from Lewis Hamilton. Because Hamilton, that Ferrari is still down a straight line speed, but they do like to have a bit more downforce than this Williams. As seen from Buemi not having the best of qualifying now on lap 2. Now see we go purple there through the first sector, but of course that means absolutely nothing because it's only the second lap of the race, so everyone will be going purple through the first sector because everyone's going faster than they were on lap 1. Now coming up through turn 5 here, this is where we're gaining a lot of time here on everyone's ride. For some reason, found turn 5 is our sweet spot. We seem to gain loads on the traction there on everyone else for some reason, despite this Williams lacking traction overall. I think just found something around that corner that works to our advantage compared to when Fernando Alonso and Hamilton behind us and everyone else, it seems. And then see there, coming out through turn 6 and 7, we just lose out on loads of time there. We actually go purple there through the second sector, and that's actually representative because the rebels went through the second sector first, so actually went faster than the rebels through the second sector. Actually doing a pretty good job of keeping up with the rebels and Fernando Alonso, so using their straight line speed of this Williams to advantage, doing the best we can with the downforce upgrades that we've got. But still, is it enough for us to keep ahead for the time being of Lewis Hamilton? And of course, we'll be looking behind us and we get all wrong there through the final corner. Lose a bit of time there to Fernando Alonso, but Alonso now will have DRS, will he? He's solved lap 3, so should yeah, Alonso now has DRS on the back. Johnny Vernon is going to pull to the inside now. Johnny Vernon does power past the Red Bull there. Now coming down to turn 1. Going to start down to Kvyat as well. Alonso just got past both the Red Bulls and a double overtake into turn 1. Great move there for Fernando Alonso. If you give Alonso a competitive car, he'll show you what you can do. Now he makes a double overtake there past both of the Red Bulls, and that slows them both down loads. Now the Red Bulls have to worry about defending from us now. See, Alonso's already pulling a gap there to Daniel Kvyat. Now we've got to worry about defending from Johnny Vernon. We run out wide there into turn 4 and try and keep it around the outside there of Lewis Hamilton. Came behind us now, coming up into turn 5. That's where we gain loads on Johnny Vernon. We're just not gaining enough on the Red Bull to try and make a move. We're gaining in the slipstream though. Think about making a move to the inside. Think about show the nose. Try and put Johnny Vernon off. We actually end up affecting us there. We lose quite a bit of time there because we take a tighter line into turn 6. And just compromises ourselves there. So we actually lose a bit of time there. We're still in DRS. Of course, Vernon has DRS on the back of Daniel Kvyat. We should still have DRS on the back of Fernando Alonso. You see Alonso is already starting to pull away from Daniel Kvyat after only half a lap, so Alonso really on it this race, wants to put in that victory in front of the home crowd, take his first victory, well it would be since Spain 2014 in the Ferrari, which was Ferrari's only victory of that season as well. Now coming through the final sector, going over the curbs, that's not what we want to do. This corner cut curbs really launch your car up if you hit them at the wrong angle. See now Alonso's setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so Alonso really on it now in this race, trying to set the fastest lap, try and pull away now at the front. And I've got the two Rebels in back now. Vernon looking up the inside now of Daniel Kvyat coming to turn 1. Vernon's going to try and make a move up the inside. Kvyat's going to try and hold it right around the outside though. Keep it side by side with the Rebels, but Vernon managed to sweep right around the outside there of Daniel Kvyat. Now Kvyat has to drop down to P3. That's why we're about to finish him up now, because the more the Rebels battle, the more this is going to allow Hamilton, Bottas as well, Arianta, everyone else behind, all the other top teams to try and keep with us. And see the clouds are coming in, so could there be a chance of rain to come in this race? Yeah, trying to hold now around the outside of Daniel Kvyat, gaining right in turn 5 there, through off what seems to be our favourite corner. Trying to keep it side by side with, we actually make the move now up to Daniel Kvyat. Kvyat trying to hold it round on the outside, a bit of contact. Kvyat runs out wide. Comes like a truck, has been taken out by one of the McLarens. Kvyat's out of the Grand Prix. We're making the McLarens, it's in the McLaren there in reverse, so that McLaren is still in the Grand Prix. And taking a look at a replay of what just happened, so Kvyat gets a pretty poor exit out of the corner. Now we keep it side by side now, going up into turn 6, trying to meet Kvyat, hits into our side point, bounces off our tyre, tries to make the corner. That's completely wiped out there by one of the McLarens, so calamities there for Daniel Kvyat and the McLaren. Oh no, for Arianta. Arianta was such a great qualifying. I was keeping up so well now, he just get completely ploughed into there by Daniel Kvyat. So what happens here to Kvyat? What happens here for Arianta's perspective? Kvyat just runs out wide, tries to make the corner, but they're just in enough room for them to go too wide. Then Arianta just meet in the middle and come together. So now that's Kvyat out of the Grand Prix. Now cutting a bit further on, we now have Lewis Hamilton trying to make a move. So a great camera angle here of the final corner. Now got Hamilton make a move, and Hamilton makes a move on now to come down in straight. And makes a move now up into P3, now coming down into turn 1. Hamilton trying to run the outside. Hamilton with a horrible lock up there. I'm sure to repeat what Daniel Kvyat did last race to give us back up position. I mean, make a position back there, get it back for free. What Kvyat did last race, locking up, trying to get past us. Hamilton just does exactly the same thing. Now cutting a bit further on now, can't see what lap we're on because the clouds cover it. Now we're on lap 6, onto the end of lap 6 now. Coming up to what should be our pit stop, not far off making our first pit stop anyway. Now coming on lap 6 now, we do come in for our first stop now. Going to a set of what should be the medium tyres, I believe. Now come down into the pit lane, I actually get pretty well there to Johnny Vernon and Fernando Alonso in front of Alonso, still leading this Grand Prix. Actually gets held there for the Red Bull, so that could cost him a bit of time there. Now coming in now for a set of the medium tyres, we can get in front of the Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton, yes we do. Great stop there from the Williams boys. And that's actually held up Fernando Alonso there, I have to wait for Johnny Vernon. So now actually close off with it, now we're going to come out in a load of back marker traffic. Now there's the two runners, that Sauber's keeping up well. He's behind both runners starting on the hard tyres, so they're looking to get along in this race, predicting the rain I imagine. That Sauber doing more to keep up behind. Actually, never mind, that Sauber's on soft tyres. I'll explain why it's keeping up with two Renaults that are on hard tyres. So now we're actually on lap 7 now, we're actually down in P15 of 21. Of course, we're Kvyat the only car out of the race so far, so now we just need to try and put our head down, try and catch back up to Johnny Vernon whilst he's getting held up by the Saubers at both the Renaults who are on the hard tyres. Vernon on the medium tyres, also Hamilton as well, so we're both looking to go possibly till the rain. or just till we make our final stop in this race. But now cutting a bit further on onto the end of that lap, John Verne has managed to catch up both Renaults. That's Sauber's coming to the pits now. Verne's going to try and move down the back of the Renault, coming down straight into turn 1. Is he close to trying to make a move? No, the Renault's actually going to make a move on each other. We're trying to make a move on John Verne now for the coming down into turn 1, trying to move up the inside. John Verne can make that stick. I think we have made it stick now. The two trying to go around the outside now. One of the Renaults as well, of Daniel Ricciardo, but Ricciardo just holds it around the outside. We have to slot in there behind the Australian. Now try and make a move on the inside of Ricciardo, get traction. Now Verne's trying to make a move back up to defend from John Verne. Now coming down into turn 4. So to defend there from John Verne, but Ricciardo just keeps ahead of herself for the time being. Now trying to make a move around the outside of Johnny Ricciardo. Coming on to turn 5. This is where we get some great traction compared to those around us. Now trying to move to the outside, to the inside now. Daniel Ricciardo trying to move now coming to turn 6. Is going to be contact? No, we've easily cleared the Renault there of Daniel Ricciardo. Now can say about chasing down Ricciardo's teammate, Nico Hülkenberg, for what will be P7. So if the rain comes now, these Renaults are both in a great position now to get some great positions here. Now gaining now on the back of Nico Hülkenberg, coming down into the third sector, but just not too far behind to try and make a move for the time being. Now to stay behind the German for a bit longer. Now coming up now through the third sector. This is where German not really able to gain any positions here. Now coming up through the final sector, we need to keep as close as we can here to Nico Hülkenberg. Through this final sector, trying to make a move down the straight. Now looking a bit further back, got the two Ferraris doing battle. Further behind, they got one of them on the medium tyres, one of them on the soft tyres. So imagine the one on the medium tyres is Lewis Hamilton, and trying to get the way Sebastian Vettel boosting, because Vettel on the soft tyres will be a lot faster than Lewis Hamilton. Now Van just make a move now to the inside. Daniel Ricciardo going to turn 1. He hasn't got enough straight line speed. Those Renault upgrades working brilliantly there to have the straight line speed there over them, but we've managed to make the move past Nico Hülkenberg there. Now we move up into P6. Now we can chase down Will Stevens, who's in 5th on the medium tyres. So if the rain comes now, that puts Will Stevens in the net 5th position. That'd be a great position there for the Manners, because Manners haven't really had any good races so far since I was there in 2014. That's pretty much since the best season ever in Formula 1. 2015 was pretty horrific, only scoring 3 points at Austria, which Will Stevens in front of us scored with a brilliant 10th place finish. Now cutting a bit further on, now to lap 11, trying to get squeezed onto the curbing there by Will Stevens. Will Stevens putting on the ultimate defensive drive. I don't know if you can see, but the rain is now starting to fall. See a bit there. Rain starting to fall across the screen now from the camera lens. And now, this is exactly what Will Stevens and Manor were predicting. I'll say the same for Renault. And as talking of Renault, Ricciardo's now got ahead of Hülkenberg there, so Ricciardo will get the lead pit stop now. Looking at to try and go around the outside now. Will Stevens, because now Will Stevens got both of Force Indians there for as well. And how fast that Manor is in a straight line. And coming up into the braking now for the third sector. There's absolutely nothing we can do to try and get past, it seems. So we have to stay behind Will Stevens now through the third sector, and we've got both the Renaults still ahead of Jean-Eric Vergne and both of the Ferraris as well. I'm trying to go right on the right side of Will Stevens through this final sector, just looking for a way to get past, but just no way through. I'm now going to stick behind Will Stevens for a bit longer. Now coming through the final sector, Will Stevens really brake testing us here, really backing us up now through this final sector. And now coming down the main straight, we're going to have DRS on the back of Will Stevens. Should be able to try and make an easy move here past the man. We get out on the curb and they run out a bit wide, lose momentum on the curb. And now with DRS, can we try and make a move still on Will Stevens? That could gain down straight now to turn 1. We're gaining on Will Stevens. Are we gaining enough now coming down to turn 1? No, we're not gaining enough. That man is just so fast in a straight line, despite having a Mercedes power unit. Of course, man, don't have the upgrades this race, so we're just stick behind Will Stevens for the time being. That man is just so fast in a straight line. And like I said in pre-season, that's why I have to use that to their advantage if they want to try and get some positions, because they're still pointless at this point in the championship. Now this is going to allow both the Renaults and Vergne to close run back. There's no run out wide. Now Ricciardo trying to load back up our inside now, keeping side by side with the Australian. Now Ricciardo trying to load back up our inside now. Forces us onto the cone there, but now we've got the move that open now compared to turn 5. We just keep the nose in there up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. Now we made a move back past Ricciardo. Now getting moved back. Now get some great traction there. Trying to move aside of Will Stevens, but no, once again we're not close enough to Will Stevens. We see this is backing us up so much, and Alonso is already cleared. Alonso's in front of the Force India, so Alonso this is really working out in Alonso's favour there. And now his DRS has now been disabled, so that which means it's time to pit at the end of this lap. But now, because we don't have DRS, so we're gaining in the slow stream of Will Stevens, we're just not gaining enough. That man is just stupidly fast. He's a complete beast in a straight line. So now Will Stevens is currently in a net P5 position. Great stuff there for the man if they can hold on to this. We're trying to now drive around the outside of Will Stevens, quickly into pit, just trying to find any advantage we can. Use the downforce advantage that we have, because the man has the speed advantage, we have the downforce advantage, but through the corners there's just nothing we can do on dry tyres on a wet track. Now coming through the final sector of the lap, now coming into pit now going to the pits now, again right up behind there. Will Stevens now coming into the pits for a set of intermediate tyres. They're going slowly. We've got a problem with the car. We're going slowly. We're going so slowly. We're stuck on the pit limiter. We're stuck on the pit limiter. This is giving Will Stevens a mountain of time there. At least what, 4 or 5 seconds advantage. We got stuck in the pit limiter, so that's something that, you know, BMW aren't the most reliable of cars, so probably something they need to look into in the future. We kind of been having mechanical issues this early in the season. Last season, so in the final few races, that's when the mechanical issues started to creep in. We kind of have them coming at race 5, 5th race of the season. It's kind of having issues this early, and see that's how much of a gap that's given Will Stevens. It's kind of there's at least a 3 or 4 second gap now to us, and they're coming down to turn 1 with absolutely no one around us. So now once again we're trying to chase down Will Stevens. Vern's managed to clear both the Renaults. Now cutting onto lap 14, we're now back up behind Will Stevens, now coming down into final sector. Now are we able to close enough to gain through this final sector to keep close to, we need to keep close to Will Stevens as much as we can through this final sector of the lap. Now once again coming down the straight, of course no DRS now because we is easily full wet conditions. I'm trying to move them around, so we run out of the corner, get complete on the car there, lose momentum, going to get complete sliding into the barriers on the other side of the road. Now gaining in the solution now on the back of Will Stevens, going down into turn 1, I'll be close to trying to make a move this time, going down into turn 1 thinking about making a move, but no, we're not close enough once again. That manner, it's just a complete beast in a straight line, there's nothing we can do about it. Now we've got Johnny Venn, very impatiently waiting right behind us, trying around the outside now of turn 3. Let's slot back in, there's no way we can try to move there. Around the outside, we're going to get cut back there to the inside of Will Stevens. We don't manage to make a move now. Vern's trying to make a move up the inside of us, now coming up into turn 4. Vern's going to try and hold it now up on the inside. We're trying to hold it now around the outside of the Frenchman, of course, the sole remaining Red Bull in this race. We're trying to hold it now right around the outside of the Red Bull now. That's turns to the inside for us, now come around turn 5, which seems to be our favourite corner on the track. Vern's going to try and hold it around the outside. As we're going to traction around the outside, we've got the inside line though, and somehow we just found the traction, of course in the wet. Offline is the grip here, and we had the inside line there, which is off the racing line. We managed to make the move back in front there of Johnny Vern. See there, a bit of our rear wing is actually missing, so that might explain why we're all over the place on road traction. You see Vern weaving all around behind us, and the more me and Vern battle, the more this is going to allow Will Stevens to keep in front of us on lap 15. Almost halfway into this race now, we're still behind Will Stevens. You can see how far in front the cars ahead are. How much me and Stevens are having to do battle here, and how much I'm battling with Vern as well. Now coming through this final sector once again, there's just no way we can make a move. We're actually running out a bit wide there. Trying to hold it around the outside though, get the traction, get some good traction now. Looking back now, John Vern has to stick. But imagine Vern is probably the most. Imagine Vern's very impatient. I imagine in that helmet. Still behind us, and still behind the Manor as well. The Manors, which are about 2 seconds a lap slower than the Red Bulls. Yes, they're in this pure condition now. We get a terrible exit out of the final corner once again. Now we've got to worry about defending from Jean Evert once again. Now one of the Ferraris catching up with us now as well. As we come down into turn 1, and once again we haven't got past Will Stevens. Stevens once again having the absolute race of his life in front of one of the Williams and the Red Bull and the Ferraris as well. So Will Stevens could be in a great position if he can just hold this. He's got half the race yet to hold it, but he's held it for 4 or 5 laps so far, and let's go keep doing the same thing now for the remaining 15 or so laps, lap 16, so we're now pretty much halfway in this race. Will Stevens has got a hold in now for a half race once again in front of us. So he gains some great traction there behind Will Stevens, got the rain light on there. Will Stevens once again trying to force everything inside, once again to get on the curb in there. Will Stevens doing a great defensive drive here. And if there's one way to advertise yourself for a drive next season, that's one way to do it if you want to drive at a more competitive team, with the epic defensive drive Stevens putting up here. And Vern's going slowly. Vern gets it completely wrong there out of turn 7. Now going around the outside, giving me a pass like one of the Ferraris. Now Vern's going out wide again. Vern's going slowly. Vern's out wide again. Now going to force him. Vern's going slowly. Vern's got a problem. Has Vern got a problem with his car? Vern's pulling off the side of the track.
It's unreal, this car. C'est un scandale.
What's happened to Vern? They see Vern's pulling off the side. Vern's out of the race. Vern's been disqualified? Surely Vern's out of the race. Saw that his must have been a gearbox failure or something. You see on his dashboard there's absolutely no electronics there. So now the safety car's been called out. Understandably, Vern's not very happy whatsoever after being stuck behind us and stuck behind a Manor that he couldn't get past as well. So now the safety car's coming down out of the pit exit there. Now once again we have to get past the safety car here because the leader has already gone past now to get around the safety car. Now Jeff telling us to get around the safety car. Bert Marlander is just parking the absolute bus on the racing line. Now we managed to get past Bert Marlander in the safety car there. Now trying to do a whole lap now to try and catch back up to the safety car. Now looking at the mini map there, see absolutely everyone else has been held up there behind Bert Marlander in the safety car. But now cutting onto the end of lap 20, safety car should be coming in at the end of this lap. Now getting ready to go once again to go back to green flag running. Now should actually have a good look here at the top 5. And we get a complete horrible exit through the final corner trying to get the power on. And Fernando Alonso leads us back to Green Flag Racing with one of the Toro Rossos in second and one of the Force Indies are in third. And I think got Will Stevens in fourth, us in fifth. Now getting straight down to turn 1. I'll be able to close enough to make a move on Will Stevens coming down to turn 1. Once again we're not close enough to Will Stevens to try and make a move coming around turn 1. And Will Stevens does have to park the bus once again. We've got one of the Force Indies in front and one of the Toro Rossos in second, so very mixed up grid so far this part of the season. This part of the season is part of the race. Now trying to hold it out around the outside, trying to move now to the inside of Will Stevens, get some good traction. Trying to hold it out around the outside of Will Stevens. Now this gives Lewis Hamilton a move around the outside, trying to hold it out around the outside of us. We give Hamilton the opportunity to try and make the move around the outside, and we just managed to sway back in. Uses the grip offline to try and get back in front there of Lewis Hamilton. And run out wide once again. I give Hamilton a look over the inside, does it? Not quite managed to shut the door. Get back up into P5, keeping the move there in front of Lewis Hamilton now. Once again, the more we battle with the top teams, the more this is going to allow Will Stevens to just drive around in P5 and take what would be an excellent points finish for Manor if he can hold on to it for the remaining 12 laps of this race. So for the track, we've just got so much more downforce, but on the straight line speed, the Manor just had it over us. Will Stevens doing a great job of keeping it composed as well, because if you're in the Manor and you had a Williams, both the Ferraris and all the other top cars behind you, you'd be just... I wouldn't be able to hold this honestly, but Will Stevens doing a great job of keeping composed here. By cutting on to the end of lap 22 through the final sector once again, still behind Will Stevens in the Manor, having the absolute race of his life in P4. Because the more we battle, the more he's just allowing Sergio Perez, which I thought would get completely wide. If I'd gone onto the grass, just about holding it in a straight line. Well, that's completely killed the momentum, and now the Ferrari and Bottas have got past us as well. Now, couldn't show one got the other Force India Esteban Ocon now having a look at us, fancy trying to make with his straight line speed. Now coming down into turn 1. Try holding now around the outside now of Esteban Ocon coming down into turn 1. We just hold it right around the outside there of Ocon in the Force India. And now this gives Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas a chance to try and get past Will Stevens in the Manor to try and take fourth place away from the Brit. Two Brits doing battle once again. And they're coming up around turn 4. Hamilton just has to stay behind Bottas. Has to stay behind Will Stevens for the time being, and Bottas just waiting just behind as well, looking for an opportunity to try and get past. Now coming up now into turn 5, you see how much we gain so much down on the braking. Will Stevens braking so early. Now we're already back on the back now of Valtteri Bottas. Now we made a move back on this hand of Valtteri Bottas coming down into turn 5. Our favourite corner on the track. We see that we can make a move on the works Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, but we can't get past the Manor of Will Stevens. That's pretty interesting, I'd say. We can get past one of the fastest cars on the track, but we can't get past the slowest round a lap, because that man is easily the fastest thing in a straight line. I'm trying to make a move on the back of Lewis Hamilton, gaining in the station team on the back of our fellow Brits. 3 Brits in a row doing battle here for P4. We just stood behind Lewis Hamilton for the time being, just not close enough to try and make a move. Of course, we still have to make another pit stop in this race for another set of intermediates, because it is still raining. The rain isn't coming down heavy enough for warrant wet tyres, and these intermediate tyres, despite the safety car period, these intermediate tyres can't go to the end of the race. So at some point we'll stop again. And unless Hamilton gets really close there to the back of Lewis Hamilton, almost doing a Vettel into the back of Hamilton there. As now we will come to the pits now for our second stop now, onto a set of another set of intermediate tyres, and this time hopefully our pit stop limiter doesn't get stuck on. It looks like it hasn't been going at normal speed down into the pit lane. Now the Manors have had to do the absolute pit stop of their career. It's want to keep it in front of this absolute train of about, what, 10, 12 cars there, pretty much everyone else on the grid. But we've been jumped by Bottas, and we've been jumped by Hamilton as well. So Bottas managed to jump me and Hamilton there, so great stop there from the Mercedes. We're seeing Stevens has been held in the pit box. Stevens, no! Stevens' race has been completely ruined there by the Manor pit stop. I mean, the pressure was on them. They've been doing pit stops now they've been doing pit stops since 2010, so they should have the jump. I'm talking of jumping, because Sebastian Vettel's not going around the outside of us, so Vettel must have stopped a lap earlier. And Vettel's got the undercut to get past us now, right behind his teammate Lewis Hamilton. So Vettel, they're doing the undercut there to perfection to jump this whole queue of cars. She got stuck behind the Manor, so we're losing loads of time there. I don't even know where Vettel was. I think he's gained loads of time there. He's jumped us at least. Now he's gone up behind his teammate. And now we've got Van Dorn in the McLaren behind as well. So the McLarens work well in the wet conditions, but Van Dorn hasn't had the best of season so far, so that should pretty much even itself out. Now we're on lap 24 of lap 24.33. 9 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Now have to worry about making a move on Sebastian Vettel. Get some great traction there on the back of the defending world champion. We're just not able to make a move, not close to try and make a move now coming up into turn 6. Just not close enough to make a move to stick behind Vettel for the time being. Now Vettel hopefully is more focused on his teammate and trying to defend from us. Now cutting all the way into lap 26 now. 2 laps further on, goes still behind Sebastian Vettel, trying to hold it right around the outside now. Of the defending world champion Sebastian Vettel gets some great traction there. We're right up his gearbox now, almost hitting into the back of him there. If any closer thing we would hit in the back of him now, coming into turn 6. We're just not close enough once again. Try and make a move. We're in P7. We've got Sebastian Buemi behind us, so Buemi managed to make a move past Van Dorn there. Now coming up now into the third sector, we've got that Force India of Sergio Perez still doing a great job there to hold on to P3 just from Valtteri Bottas, the two Ferraris, and then ourselves. Now to make a move, on this side of Sebastian Vettel, catch him napping there into the third sector, keeping it side by side with Sebastian Vettel. We're going to have the inside line there, trying to make the move past, and we do. We made the move past Sebastian Vettel, and now we can try and chase down Lewis Hamilton once again. And hopefully Sergio Perez and that Force India can do a great job holding up everyone to try and keep ahead, try and keep ahead of Bottas and Hamilton, but also try and hold up them as well, so we can catch them to the back now of Lewis Hamilton. Now coming down the main straight, so we know that Force India does have the speed advantage, but Bottas with the DRS extra downforce edge traction at the final corner. Bottas gaining loads on the back of Sergio Perez. Now gaining installation now on the back of Sergio Perez. He's going to pull inside, yes, now Bottas pulls to the inside. Now Sergio Perez now coming down into turn 1, let's do this for P3, a podium position. Bottas just holding it around the outside there of Sergio Perez. Perez doesn't put in much of a fight. And honestly, I'd put up a fight there, because in the wet conditions, it pretty much neutralises the pace between everyone. Now they puts Lewis Hamilton now right on the back of Sergio Perez. We're running out completely wide there through turn 3, just about get it back on track now in front of Sebastian Vettel. Vettel's not able to make a move back past us. And we just keep it in P5. In P6 for the time being, trying to chase down Hamilton in P5. We get a complete tank slapper though. Go over the gravel, get a warning for exceeding track limits, just about get it back on track. Actually take the corner pretty nicely there. Yellow flag's further behind. Take the corner there pretty nicely. Now we're actually getting quite a bit on traction there, so pretty ironic there. Going off the grass, losing complete control of the car. Actually ended up gaining a bit of time there on the back of Hamilton, but we still stay behind Hamilton for the time being. Now cutting on start now, lap 28. We've got Hamilton gaining installation now on Sergio Perez. Going down into turn 1, Perez trying to keep holding around the outside. We're gaining on the back of Lewis Hamilton, trying to follow Hamilton through into turn 1. Perez can try and hold it now right around the outside of Lewis Hamilton, but it doesn't work out for him. They can try and hold it now around the outside of us. Inside now, she turns to the outside for Sergio Perez. They're going to hold it around the outside. We made a move past Sergio Perez. Perez just lost 2 positions, 2 corners. There's contact with Sebastian Vettel. There's more contact. Perez is off the track now. Come back on track. He's taken out Sebastian Buemi and Sebastian Vettel as well. He's taken out Buemi and Van Dorn. What happened there? Really poor driving there from Sergio Perez. Just taking out Buemi and Van Dorn. They're taking a look at replay from Sergio Perez's perspective. They're coming around turn 1. You've got Lewis Hamilton looking up our inside there. That's going to hold you now right around the outside. Of us now, chance to the inside. Of us now, we chance to the outside. I can see there's us making a move around the outside. Perez just runs out wide. He gets a bit of contact there from Sebastian Vettel. There's even more contact from his side and then Perez just comes back on track and gets completely wipes out Buemi and Van Dorn as well. So really poor driving there from Sergio Perez, I'd say. Now here's a look at replay now from Sebastian Vettel's perspective. So this is what happened with this is Vettel's side of the story. You know, it's gaining right behind us. You can see Perez running out wide there. Now Perez runs out wide. Vettel goes back up. He just turns in on Perez and he turns back out. And then once again, Perez just has 2 swipes at the front. And then he takes out Buemi behind as well. So really just poor driving there from Sergio Perez. Don't even know what he was thinking in that instance. Now here's a final look now from Van Dorn's perspective. Let's see, Van Dorn just following Buemi, just minding their business, following Buemi. In station now, you can see Perez is running out wide. Perez has come back and wipes out Buemi, and Van Dorn has absolutely nowhere to go. Let's contact Buemi, reverses across the track. And someone just misses his teammate there, Rio Haryanto. I have no idea how much closer Haryanto could have been there before wiping out his teammate. Now cutting onto the end of lap 28, we're gaining right on the station now, right behind Lewis Hamilton. Gaining station, we know how much, you know that throws down on power still, gaining. Now just making an easy move there on Lewis Hamilton. Now for P4, and now we've got 4 laps of this race remaining to try and chase down Valtteri Bottas to try and take a podium position, try and take P3 in this race. I mean, we've got some pretty good pace. Bottas does seem to have some pretty good pace in the wet, but we've got past him once in this race. There's no reason why we can't get past Valtteri Bottas again, because we haven't got to pit again. We're going to the end of the race on these intermediate tyres. Now cutting on to the end of lap 33, we haven't managed to catch Valtteri Bottas, but Bottas is still catching onto the back of Max Verstappen, who's still holding to a brilliant P2 there. Fernando Alonso's completely gone into the distance. Now there's only half a lap left to go. Can we try and make a move on Valtteri Bottas? We seem we're gaining on him, but are we gaining enough to try and make a move? And is Bottas gaining enough on Max Verstappen to try and make a move for second possession in this race as well? Now coming up through this long sweeping right hander, now coming up now into the third sector, we're gaining on the back of Valtteri Bottas, but I don't think we're gaining by enough. Now coming up into the third sector, and there's no way we can make a move on Bottas. Now Max Verstappen is holding on to second, but for now Fernando Alonso, there's only 2 corners left to go. He's going to take the victory here surely in front of the home crowd. So now 1 corner left to go. Alonso just needs to get a move around here, around the final corner, can get complete now, around the final corner. Now Alonso rounds the final corner, going on to the finish line. Alonso is going to win the Spanish Grand Prix in front of the home crowd and take his first victory in 2 seasons. Great drive there from Fernando Alonso, controlling drive there from the Spaniard. But how's this for a story? Max Verstappen in the Toro Rosso, going to hold on to P2 in this race, campaigning for a second place position for Toro Rosso. And Bottas just holds on to P3 and just holding off us P4. You know, come down the straight. If there's one more lap, we should have got Valtteri Bottas there. And just hold on for P3. See the Toto Wolff there looking very happy with Fernando Alonso's race result, and understandably as well, taking Mercedes' first race victory of the season. It's Spain round 5 of the season. See Fernando Alonso there looking very happy with his race victory, his first victory of course in 2 seasons. And of course, first victory of the season, Mercedes' first victory of the season as well. Taking a look at the race results, Fernando Alonso would take victory, 13 seconds clear from Max Verstappen for Toro Rosso in second, with Valtteri Bottas finally getting the season back on track, running off the podium and a 1-3 for Mercedes. We would just come home in 4th, just behind Valtteri Bottas, 2 tenths behind him, with Lewis Hamilton in 5th for Ferrari, and Sebastian Vettel in 6th for the second Ferrari. Haryanto would recover up to 7th, so great recovery drive there from Rio Haryanto. Come home in 7th for McLaren, Sergio Perez in 8th as the lead Force India, Daniel Ricciardo in 9th for Renault, Romain Grosjean in 10th for Haas, Esteban Ocon in the second of the Force Indies coming home in 11th, and Alex Rossi in the second Haas, rounding off the point scorers in 12th. Moving on to the driver standings, and thanks to the double DNF for Red Bull, we now have a 14-point lead over Jean-Eric Vergne in the championship. Daniel Kvyat in 3rd, only on 48 points, 26 points behind us. Hamilton in 4th, only 4 points behind Kvyat on 44 points. Very blessed amount of points Hamilton has there. Fernando Alonso now jumps all the way up into 5th on 43 points, now only 1 point behind Ferrari. Sebastian Buemi remains in 6th on 38 points, with Vettel now back up into 7th on 29 points. Rio Haryanto remains in 8th, only 2 points behind the defending world champion on 27 points. And Max Verstappen jumps up and out into P9 on 23 points, ahead of Valtteri Bottas, who's on 20. Romain Grosjean drops down to 11th on 13 points, and Sergio Perez runs off the top 12 on 12 points for Force India. Now moving on to the Constructors standings, and Williams now take the lead of the Constructors standings on 4 points clear of Red Bull, now dropped down to 2nd. Ferrari in 3rd, now 39 points behind the championship lead, with Mercedes in 4th, only 10 points behind the Scuderia. McLaren are in 5th on 32 points, or almost nearing their points total for the whole of last season. Toro Rosso now move up into 6th, now on 28 points, ahead of Force India, who are on 20, and Haas dropped down to 8th on 19 points. Renault now still in 9th on 10 points, and Manor and Sauber both still yet to score in this season. So that's been the Spanish Grand Prix. Remember to vote for your driver of the day with the poll link in the description. Honestly, for my driver of the day, honestly I'd have to say Will Stevens, despite not scoring points at that Manor pit stop. And Manor ruined his race with that pit stop. But honestly, I'd have to say Will Stevens, keeping ahead of us for what, 5-10 laps, keeping ahead of us, keeping his composure. Great driving there from Will Stevens, but otherwise from Will Stevens, probably say Rio Haryanto after a great recovery drive as well, after making an early pit stop for that front wing change after that contact with Daniel Kvyat. Yeah, that's been the Spanish Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the race, comment down below, and vote with that poll link for your driver of the day. I'll see you all next time.